Hi there, I'm Emma and I'm going to help you make some art today. And this term's theme is kindness. And last week we talked about not just being kind to people, but being kind to the planet as well. And last week saw the start of the Great Big Green Week, where we can show our support for the planet and also show our support for tackling climate change so the planet doesn't get any hotter and warmer and have an effect on all the animals and creatures and plants that live there. So today I thought it might be quite nice if we looked at a specific area of the planet. So I thought we'd have a look at oceans. And I've got some amazing pictures of, can you see, some coral reefs. And I thought we'd use those as our inspiration for our artworks. So this week we're going to be working in clay. And just like I usually do, I'm going to point the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. Righty-ho. So we have got some lumps of clay. You might have air dry clay, which is great because then you can paint it when you're finished. I've just got some brown clay. So what we're going to do first of all is going to think about making a little tiny base for our coral reef. So start with a ball of clay, give it a roll so it's nice and round, and then we're going to start pressing our thumb into the middle. Can you see that? To make like a little pot shape. And we're going to press it and stretch it all the way around. And after a while, it starts to look like a dome, doesn't it? So I've done that with this one here. And I've made quite a big pot. It's quite deep. And when I flip it over, it's a dome. So we can think about that being the base of the coral reef and then building up all the little corals around it. Okay? So as you can see, there are big corals sat on top of other corals with little tiny corals, all different shapes and sizes. I thought it might be quite nice if we start off with a dish coral. So again, this is just made by pressing your thumb into a ball of clay until it kind of goes like a cup, yeah, like a bowl. And we could put that on there to start building our picture, our coral reef. Now, a good way to stick clay together is if you're lucky, you might have some tools like this, clay tools. If you don't, you might just have some pens or some paintbrushes that you can use or a kebab stick. So what we want to do to join two pieces of clay together is we want to scratch. Seems a bit strange, doesn't it? Scratch the bottom of the clay on there. And where we want to stick it, we want to scratch on here as well. And the scratches are going to help join the two bits of clay together. And then you can take a brush with some water. You can just dab a bit of water on to make that nice and sticky. Okay? And then I'm going to get my two pieces of clay now and stick them together. So there we are. I've got a lovely big dish coral now sat on top of my coral reef. Now, what else can we do? We can roll out, know how to make a sausage shape? Roll out sausages. Again, we can scratch the bottom of them. Scratch the bottom where we want them to join on. Put a bit of water on and put it on like that. We find that lots of corals have like kind of tubes, holes inside. So it might be quite good fun if you get something else that's pokey and make a little hole inside. There we go. Oh, so these are like little kind of funnels, aren't they? Little kind of chimneys. And a coral isn't a plant, is it? It's a structure made up of lots and lots of teeny tiny little animals all living together in harmony. So I kind of quite like that. They're all being kind to each other, all helping each other to live and survive on the coral reef. And a coral reef is so important because it's like a little baby home, isn't it, for all the baby fishes that live on the coral reef. Here we are. I'm scratching one end. I'm scratching the other. And with climate change, the water around the seas is getting hotter, and the hotness is not good, is it, for the corals? So that's why we have to stop climate change, because the corals can't live in hot water, and we want to keep those homes, don't we, for the baby fishes? So I'm scratching the bottom of these now. Now, what are these? These are kind of like, I don't know, Oh, I was going to say look like rabbit droppings. No, look like chocolate covered raisins. That's better. So it's all different shapes. And you can see what I'm doing. I'm just building up my layers of shapes. I think this is going to be quite a big hole on here. There we are. There we go. Ooh. So look, can you see what I'm doing? Adding the shapes on. There we are. And then another thing you can do, get a ball of clay and you can just squash it flat. Like that. And these make some of the lovely kind of bracket corals. Ones that look a bit like this. Yeah? So we can make layers. Let's give this one a scratch. Pokey scratch. Put on some water. Glue that on. Look, and it's kind of like making like almost like a fan shape, isn't it? Lots of little fans all joining on. And then this can go on the coral reef as well. So let's scratch that one and put that on. But can you see how it's quite nice just to build up lots of layers, build up different patterns, different shapes, and put them on. So you're going to have lots of fun building up your coral reefs today. And what you can do when you're happy with your coral reef, like that, there we go. Maybe you can add some extra texture. Maybe you can use your pokey sticks to make some scratchy lines. Yeah, inside these level corals. Or maybe use your sticks to make texture as well. Right, I'm going to let you get on with it, okay? And hopefully by the end of the session, you'll have made a beautiful little tiny coral reef to celebrate World Ocean Day, which was last week. Okay, have fun. Bye.